to the True Sky Crew podcast, where we share our cosmic pearls of wisdom. Why True Sky Astrology? Because when we align with the true sky, we align with our true self. We are your hosts, Sachi, Janine, and Georgia. Thank you all for joining us live or on the replay. And today we are going to be discussing February 2024 transits. First, we are going to review our awesome products. But first, how is everyone feeling with this Cancer full moon today?
Ooh, it's a spicy nugget.
It's a pretty cancery moon. I spent a couple hours crying this afternoon, but feeling good from that. It was a good cry. It needed to come out. Yeah.
It's very therapeutic. We talked about that on our Cancerian episode too, that cancers get that stereotype of being a crybaby, but it's an essential part of emotional regulation, and like the healthiest thing you can do when Cancerian energy is around is cry. You got to get it out of your body.
Mm-hmm. And there's like a different formation of the water, like the tears that we cry. It's really like, I feel like cancers can cry like a shamanic cry. We can cry for the world, and we can shift fields through our tears. So it is very powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I woke up like 5 minutes before the full moon peaked, and the full moon peaked 1 degree away from my natal moon. So the moon was like, wake up, wake up, experience this. I was like, yeah, I'm here for it.
And this moon was, the full moon peaked 1 degree from my natal Venus and 2 from my natal rising. So I'm definitely feeling that little moon touch today.
Yep, I'm coming out the other end of some intense physical stuff. Like for me, it's less like I can feel and hear the things that are still stuck in my energy. And I guess it's because I have so much air. I'm just like, well, there it is. Let's go do the emotion code, because it's not me now. It's either an ancestor or somebody else. And then come to find out through like a members group call that there was an incredible amount of energy work going on in my soul group kind of on the planet. And I'm like, so that's why it was hurting so bad. Like we're out there doing astral cleanup work ahead of this new moon wave, and just wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, my right shoulder, my neck hurts so bad, and just clearing stuff out of the throat chakra and this and that. So it's less of, I don't know, it's less of like being in the emotion and more in observer mode of stuff. And a lot of times for me, it just shows up as like pain in the actual body. So I don't know if that means I'm repressed emotionally or not, but I'm usually like, my life is good. I've got nothing to be sad about. So anybody else, get in line and we'll emotion code that stuff out.
I just think we all process emotions differently. Like,
yeah.
Some of us have to feel it in our body. Some of us compute it in the mind. We're all like such an array of creatures.
Yeah. Tis true.
Yeah, it can be old stuff stuck, even though currently it's like everything's great. Sometimes the body doesn't catch up to the work the soul has done.
Yeah.
It just takes a while.
It does kind of feel like that sometimes.
And sometimes for me, like some of the body stuff has been really connected with past life stuff. More
totally.
So I feel like sometimes the body like communicates that way too, like what it's still holding from other incarnations.
Absolutely. Totally. Yeah, I think I was surfing this one in a good solid week in advance. Like I was getting just an incredible amount of dream stuff and like all over the place as far as locations. Like I'm here, I'm there, I'm getting clues that I'm all over the planet. It was wild.
That's
so
awesome.
Lots of interesting dream stuff.
My dreams have been surprisingly quiet, but I'm just giving myself the rest.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Rest is the best. All right, so for episode 13, we are going to review our 2024 calendar and the daily planner. For those of you who don't know, we have created a True Sky astrology calendar and daily planner. And we have just released the February only version. So you can purchase the calendar pages for February only and for the planner. Actually, March is in there as well. So let's just take a look. You can go to sachitheseer.com. You can go to book now/shop and and we have the full versions. So the calendar obviously is all 12 months. The daily planner is 366 pages because we are in a leap year. Actually, it's more than that because we have no pages, but this does go through every single day. And we have the wall calendar where you can get a physical copy or the PDF calendar that you can use digitally, or you can print yourself, however you want to use it. And we do have January only for the daily planner and the calendar, but we have also added February and March. So if you're interested in purchasing those, go ahead to sachitheseer.com and check that out. It's a really great way to, test out our products for one, but also test out how you resonate with True Sky Astrology, just having that information at your fingertips to the level of detail that works best for you. So the most detailed is obviously the daily planner, and a more general view of when the sun, moon, and planets and super big celestial events are happening are on the calendar. And as mentioned, we will be discussing February 2024 transits. And on this beautiful Cancer full moon, we will also be saying farewell to a cast member at the end of the show. So make sure you stick around for that.
All right. We've got some folks in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, we didn't have any listener questions. So if you have any,
yeah,
drop
they may
them in the
come
chat
up while you're listening. May have questions that pop in. So we're going to try and we're going to try a couple new things for this episode, with like sharing the charts and sharing some of the information off our little cheat sheets that we have. I guess I shouldn't call them cheat sheets. They're just information.
Yeah.
That keeps us organized and on track. So let us know how you like it.
You want me to pull up Sun?
Yeah, I mean, we might as well. We can do the retrograde recap in like 10 seconds. Everybody's direct. Yay! Yep. So Uranus in January, which at the time of this recording hasn't quite happened yet because it's around the 27th, will go direct, and he will be direct for February, and everybody else will be too. Yay. So that's it on that front. And yeah, you'll probably be integrating some interesting things as some of these planets that have recently gone direct in the last month or two, or some of them are still in their shadow period, like the slow movers truck through those shadow periods for about almost half the year.
Yeah, it's definitely full steam ahead energy. Now everyone's direct, even though it still feels good to hibernate.
Oh yes.
Full steam ahead to hibernate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full permission to sleep as much as you want.
I like it when everything's direct, like it feels good, but I have to say that like last year, after everything was direct for a while, I started feeling like ready for a retrograde. I actually kind of like retrogrades.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them. I like every day of my life, so
yeah,
it's kind of like, whether it's retrograde or not, it just basically changes how I know how to work with certain energies. It's like, okay, time to try this again.
But yeah, I like it all. Like at the end of the retrograde, I'm ready for direct, and at the end of direct, I'm ready for retrograde.
Depends on what planet it is for me, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mercury usually gives me fits, so in subtle and sneaky ways is like I can always feel a Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, Mercury definitely will always give me the little hint like, hey, what's up? I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. So that's it on that front. And this is we're gonna try this. Oh, cool. You can do
I'm
both
wondering
screens.
if I can. Does it look okay?
It
Like, can you see both
you
things?
could probably make the typed page a little smaller and make the
Okay.
other a little bigger. Or maybe you can make it the whole screen and then just
Switch back and forth.
squish that down. Yeah. So it's just sitting on top of that image or something. Give us a second,
Oh,
guys.
like
We're
that.
just
Okay.
trying some stuff. And we've also got a sky app with the ecliptic. Yay.
Yes, we do. Finally. All right, here. I'll just exit out of this for now. We can review it and then oops. All right.
Okay, so this is just general information. So you can get the download, you can screenshot it if you want. If you guys like this format, maybe we'll make this into something that's shareable on Instagram, and then you can just screenshot it and follow along for the chat.
It's 11:44. That's probably a yes.
Probably a good idea. So we start February. The sun is in the Capricorn Aquarius blended energy. So where these two actually overlap if you're looking at a sky app, which is why it's good that we are going to use a sky app, because we will show you kind of where that is and what it looks like.
I pull that up.
No, just I'll read through this and then we'll pull it up and kind of go through it, because we've got this, then we can look at it and just run through it. So on February 13th, the sun moves into Aquarius only energy and is in Aquarius for the rest of the month. And significant conjunctions: Sun, Mercury, and Saturn on the 28th. Holy wow, like the day before the leap day. Well, didn't you say the leap day actually comes in the middle of the month, Sachi?
So that was a dream message that I got that I don't want to share with the public.
Okay. Never mind.
It might be a personal timeline thing for me, but I did see where the double day is in the calendar, and it's not the 29th.
Oh, that's wow. Yeah,
It's
I feel like
shifted in a different way.
Especially like with fixed star stuff, like when you've got a fixed star and a planet on either side equidistant, that fixed star is a portal. Like that's kind of a quantum portal thing. So anyway, moving on. The day before the leap day. That's going to be a really interesting, intense conjunction, I think. Depends on where you're at with your Saturn stuff, probably.
Yeah.
And then we have a whole slew. This is where it's handy for me, because I can be like, and here's all the fixed star alignments. There's a whole whack of them for the sun, moving through some cool parts of the sky. So Rota Neve and Delphinus, not a very well-known constellation, not a very bright constellation, but dolphin energy shows up a lot for me. So I always look at this fixed star. Yeah, totally. So Rota Neve's an interesting star in Delphinus. It's the beta star in Delphinus. And then Deneb Algeti in Capricornus, which is actually a Bahanian fixed star, which are supposed to be magically delicious. Again, not a lot of people, they don't talk about this star a lot. So, and I don't have a lot of information on it other than it's a Bahanian fixed star. So somebody knew something about it. Sadir and Cygnus, Enif and Pegasus, Royal Star Fomalhaut and Pisces Austrinus. That's going to be a pretty major day with Sun aligning with that. And then Deneb and Cygnus. So we've got multiple Cygnus alignments, which are time matrix guardian, like big time jobs. So the sun will be activating some of you folks for that. So that's a lot. So we should switch on over to the sky app and we can show them where this blended energy, what it looks like in the sky as the sun is cruising through there.
Which it may look, it's like it's in the asterism of Capricornus, but it is a blended energy. So let's take a look. Ooh.
Look at that beautiful ecliptic. I love it because that app also has the horizon, which is nice.
Yeah. It's got all the data. It's just harder to move.
Harder to
I'll have
navigate
to
it.
app next episode now that I have the information that I needed. Okay. Let's move down. And here. Okay, let's just zoom in. Not that much. See, yeah, this one's a little finicky, so apologize to that, but we'll all get to see little parts of the sky that we don't pay attention to. All right. So there we go. Sun in Capricornus and Aquarius. Yeah. So the
There's
top
the
part.
overlap. Mhm.
So this is the overlap. Yeah. So when the sun's here, it's within alignment of stars associated with Aquarius here and Capricornus, obviously, in the constellation.
And like you said, it's the planet or the ecliptic is technically traveling through the asterism of Capricornus, but you do have that overlap. So it's kind of like a less blended version of Scorpio and Ophiuchus, which basically sit on top of each other for the whole transit. This is like you have this gradation effect in a smaller window between these two. So in our calendar and our daily planner, wherever you see that blend, that B, it means it's in this area where it's overlapping with Aquarius a little bit.
Which is
so
like
it is more,
right
you know,
here.
if you're looking at it, it is more intensely Capricorn. But you're getting some definitely getting some Aquarian vibes added into the mix as a gradient effect.
Yeah.
So, but they're both ruled by Saturn, so it's
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
yeah.
a heavily Saturn energy, but on the latter half, you feel the co-rulership between them. So a lot of it with Capricorn or Capricornus being, you know, social structure, government, and things like that, more on the masculine nature, at least during our time, where it blends with science, technology, and humanitarian efforts, community groups. That's where it's at.
There he is. I was gonna say those asterisms are hard to
I
get
know
them to show up.
Yeah, it's an
Persnickety.
interesting app. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it feels like that hard work, like the long-term goals and the various like planning and the things that we're doing in Capricorn. It feels like in that blended area, it's that energy of, well, the work that I'm doing is not just for me, it's for the greater good or for the collective or humanity as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you more gradual, it's like a gradual wading into it too. So it's real interesting how it sort of eases out of Capricorn and eases into Aquarius through that blend.
And I always take it as like working smarter, not harder a lot in this area, especially as it gets more towards Aquarian energy and out of Capricornus, because it's like, I could do this task, but I can use technology to make it easier. And not even like, you know, super high tech code stuff, but just like, I recently saw this one stand-up comic that was mentioning like, you know, it took them until the 1970s to put wheels on luggage. And it's like people were just literally holding their luggage everywhere that they went. And, you know, it's not like people didn't see wheels, right? They're everywhere, cars, trains, you know, they're around. We even had planes, but just using the wheel as a technology and adding it to your luggage and how easier it made travel and movement. And so it's just really simple things like that. You know, when we talk about like technology, most people think like, oh, AI or, you know, creating some software program. No, you know, like anything you use is technically a tool and therefore can be considered technology. And so a lot of it is that innovative aspect of Aquarius as the ruler of invention and innovation to help Capricornus not have to do so much hard work.
I was going to mention that too. I liked what you said. And it's like how to make your money make money for you. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
putting in the
babies,
work.
that is Capricornus.
Exactly. It's like putting
Yeah.
in the work so that then you don't have to do so much work, so that the work works for you.
Yeah.
Which is kind of another technology that I feel like starts to come into that blended area.
Yeah. And work shared is work halved, right? Many hands make easy work. So that's part of it as well.
Absolutely.
Playing nice with others.
Yeah, group stuff.
Can we scroll through? How hard is it to like scroll through the month and so you can see where the sun is going? Because it'll be interesting.
Is one of the easiest things to do here.
Okay, good.
Well, here, let me just get
We
a little bit
can
on track. Okay.
Scroll through
And then let's
and
do
stop
this.
on the
Oh, wait.
28th.
How do I do this again first? Okay. There we go. All right. So let's go to the second.
There you can see the asterism.
Fourth, yeah. Fifth, I think that's where we want to stop first. Is the fifth?
The fifth is in alignment with, it's kind of hard to see on there, any of those fixed stars. There's Delphinus. Ta-da!
It's in there somewhere.
So, yeah. It's Beta Delphinus.
Beta. Really. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't search for them. So.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Next transit episode, we will.
February 12th is Deneb Al-Gedi. That one's in Capricorn itself. So that's the end star in the little fishy tail. So that's the one that actually tells us when it's moving into that straight up Capricorn energy, or sorry, Aquarius energy. Moves out of the blend like and into Aquarius. It's like its tail is just like, whoop, off you go.
Splash.
The 14th, the sun aligns with Sadir and Cygnus, so that's way up off the ecliptic.
And that's Valentine's Day, y'all.
And there's some interesting things going on Valentine's Day, for sure.
Interesting too, like swans being such a classic symbol of love, and especially of like mates and long-term relationship. So interesting that's coming through on our lovely Hallmark holiday.
Yeah, Cygnus is huge too. It spans quite a large swath of the ecliptic. So there's many bright stars in Cygnus. So you can get on your own sky app at home and look at the really bright ones and sort of track the alignments. 21st, the sun aligns with Enif in Pegasus, which is also above the ecliptic.
Well, good old Pegasus.
Pegasus.
Tenacious and pure.
Yes, getting some galactic DNA clearing on. Get your galactic upgrades on. And that's just kind of like the beginning of the transits through Pegasus also, man, holds a huge swath of the ecliptic. Huge.
Yeah. From branching from Aquarius into Pisces.
Yeah. All the way.
Which is such a Pegasus-y like energy. Like super high tech, other dimensional.
Yeah.
Amazingness.
Powerful, a little bit of a weirdo, you know. Aquarius definitely has that like a little bit different than the rest.
Oh yeah, the alien of the zodiac for sure.
Yeah.
Totally. The 23rd, sun aligns with royal star Fomalhaut in Pisces Austrinus, which is below the ecliptic. It's kind of like what Aquarius is pouring his water out onto.
Oh, it's rotating. Okay. Well, it's right there. At least it's showing up. I don't know why the picture is not. Maybe I have to get closer, but the star's right here. Oh,
I know.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
We're gonna have words with this app.
Yeah.
developer and be like, what the?
The thing is, it's
Yo.
usually not this bad. I think it's just
There he
because I'm
is.
running so much on my computer,
Oh,
maybe. I'm not sure. But yes, in there. And then
and Fomalhaut is a royal star, so it is the royal star that is like the woke sovereign. Yes, I know I have a job on this planet at a soul level. I accept that duty and responsibility. Let's rock and roll, right? So
I'm here to serve
soul,
humanity.
yeah, the sun crossing that is like soul alignment with that. Who's ready for that? So it's
Also,
always a fun time of year.
it feels like those like cosmic waters pouring out. I mean, it really is a time where like dreams get really intense and the messages come through in all sorts of fun, different ways. It's just like the cosmos feels so alive in these cosmic waters of Aquarius.
Yeah, I love this side of the ecliptic, honestly. Like my Jupiter's over here in Aquarius, so I love this side.
This is the area of the sky that's the celestial sea, and it really is so cosmic.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff in this
Are
area.
you the only one that has a significant Aquarius placement of us three?
I mean, maybe my
I
IC's
certainly
down there
don't.
too. It's like my IC, Jupiter, Juno, and Jupiter conjunct in Aquarius. Like, I love that. I live in that level of weird.
yeah, I don't have anything in Aquarius. Tropically, I
Neither
had
do I.
Saturn there. But no, my Saturn's in Cap. Oof.
And then on the 24th, we have Deneb and Cygnus, so another Cygnus alignment. So more time matrix guardian things. Protective swan energy. Swans can be protective to almost a fault, right? Like almost to the point of hostility. So that's some of the energy that comes through those alignments is like you kind of know you're here to do something big and protective, and sometimes when it's not integrated, it might come out as, I don't know, hostility or just standoffishness, but it's
Overbearing
really,
and attacking, absolutely. Like, have you
yeah.
had a swan or a goose like get mad at you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't say no shit.
Are typically more aggressive, but swans definitely can, for sure.
But very protective of their family, and there's a lot of maternal nurturing.
They're very devoted and loyal. They mate for life.
Yeah.
And they suffer when if something happens to their mate, they suffer quite a lot.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is some intense placements. Yeah.
Definitely, especially after Valentine's Day, that's when the first Cygnus alignment starts. So between then and the 24th, it's a really great time to examine your romantic relationships and family dynamics and what you're devoted to, loyal to. It's like who has the emotional power over you to, in their absence, make you miserable, sort of thing, and like, is that actually healthy? And swan medicine carries a lot of other things, acting with grace and making sure that you prioritize love and romance and, embody innocence and purity and beauty and art. So should be a very interesting time.
I've seen swan as the ability to see into the future as well. So I think that's some of the quantum codes that Janine's talking about.
Totally. Yeah. I'm talking more like earth medicine, not this.
Oh yeah. But I think it translates to to me it's all one.
Yeah. And another thing, like swan medicine, they're like in a lot of cultures, they have swan maidens, which are like shape-shifting spirits that look like super seductive young women that shift from that to swans. And they're talked about all over in multiple cultures. And we think we may have one here by where we live because one night we were taking our dog on a walk and we swore we saw a gorgeous lady and then gone, but the swan was there. So it was really weird.
Quite likely with the two of you. And I feel like we went through the Delphinus placement pretty fast. So just to go back because it keeps tapping me on the shoulder, that constellation, it's also really about like marching to the beat of your own drum. It's definitely really going to bring in a lot of music and connecting with community because like dolphins really are about being in the pod and being together. It's very playful, very fun, very light, which is a nice complement to the Capricorn energy,
For sure.
for sure. But it's definitely also very much about um, not going necessarily along with what has been written already before, about kind of finding your own internal rhythm.
For sure.
Mhm.
And, Capricornus gets a rep for being very work oriented, and they are. They're very focused on the material. But if you ever want to know why Capricornus people are like that, it's usually because of Delphinus, because dolphin spirit is very fun. They love to have parties, and dolphins in the wild, they pass around puffer fish and get high with each other. They have very complex social structure and social relationships and sexual relationships as well. They're one of the species that are quite known to be documented to have sex for pleasure, to have homosexual sex, to have orgies. These are all like super documented things. So dolphin spirit is quite a wild one for sure. So, that's the other side of Capricornus that you usually don't see until, you get to know them well, but they
Because
know
it's that work
the
hard,
guy.
play hard.
Definitely, yeah.
Work hard, play harder.
Yeah. And honestly, the Capricornus people I've known in my life have partied and played the hardest for sure.
And they're quite functional at it. Like I actually will say, like
Yeah.
on that note, there are a lot of functional addicts
Functional
in the
addicts,
Capricorn.
They can stay
100%.
grounded
Yeah.
enough through it to function, but yeah, not so healthy.
Uh-huh.
Not so
I find
healthy.
like the Delphinus energy also talks about like the water, the sea goat, the sea part, the tail, the mermaid tail on the goat, or the fish tail on the goat. And
Yeah.
some of the more watery aspects, even though it's an earth sign, you do get into interesting things with Delphinus alignments, with like sonar type communication, a lot of somatic type things, feeling body things. So it lends an interesting overtone to Capricorn energy, and sometimes it can be quite a contrast to the personality that you think is a Capricorn when people have those alignments.
Right. And so this would be also then maybe a Capricorn who's a good counselor because they're good at listening. They're able to really hear what's being said. And so, Capricorn is working, but depending upon what else is going on in their chart, and they love to work, but depending upon what's going on in their chart, is just it depends on the kind of work. So not every Capricorn's just out there like the wolf of Wall Street.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I think the
That's definitely
Delphinus
extreme.
alignments lends a lot of sensitivity in that very small, it's a very small region. But yeah, to stay grounded and feel through things, basically, in that little narrow window. I mean, my IC is sitting right on the star, so I understand it well. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, the
Mermaid
sonar,
power.
the dolphins, I get it.
I love it.
In navigating through feel. So if you have that specific alignment, like if your birthday's around February 5th, like you definitely have Delphinus alignments. We might be a different kind of Capricorn.
Yeah. Sorry, we outed you. I'm just playing. Obviously, it can manifest as a lot of different things. There's evolved dolphin energy for sure, but interpersonal and social relationships are usually extremely complex, whether they involve some taboo things or not.
Right. And so people who are born and around this area are often have polyamorous relationships rather than monogamous relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if it's at your IC, there's past life weirdness.
Past life poly.
Past life, yeah. In my case, it's like weird energy manipulation stuff from very karmic past lives. It's like sometimes the Aquarius energy on the low vibe is very manipulative. Like it understands how energy works and how to use emotional body stuff to create timelines and trauma and this and that. And like, I'm gonna get real weird because it shows up in readings, but like sometimes it's weird, like blood magic, sex magic, like they understand the quantum mechanics of the body, and it can be weird. So if you have some intense placements, like look at what planets are kind of in this area. And like for me, like it's IC related, so I know it's kind of psychic basement hidden away, probably with good reason.
IC is really intense placement in the chart.
Yeah, for sure.
And it can entail some serious cleanup work. So that's why Pegasus is over in this area too, because it's like usually it's connected to things. It's not always just past life. It's usually like coming from a galactic place. There's stuff trickling down from other lifetimes and other star systems.
Right. I mean,
and
this
you can
makes
come
sense.
to Earth and resolve it and do a bunch of stuff all in one fell swoop. So
Because Aquarius kind of has that God complex. So in everything that you just said, I was like, oh yeah, this is the God. This is all connected to that God complex.
Exactly.
There's some superiority.
On the low vibe,
control tactics. Because Aquarius, like I mentioned, rules over science and technology, and you know, science including psychology. So Aquarius on the low vibe definitely knows, like, if I do this, other people will say this, you know, even like marketing, like, oh, using this color, you know, makes people feel this and trusting and all that type of manipulation. Now put it on a large scale, especially where that, you know, Capricornus Aquarius blend is, and you get, you know, mass media and things like that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Manipulating collectives.
Yeah.
Which we know that there's people that do that on this planet. And that's why some of us are here, because we have karma tied to that. And it's like, oh, as I clean my own stuff up, I'm pulling energy out of all that stuff at the same time. And that can also be a reflection of having Aquarius placements as well. Or 11th house placements.
A lot of social
in
justice.
Sachi's system, that'd be 12th house placements, right?
Yes, it would be. Size 13 houses.
So
my sun is in the 11th house. It's probably my only little Aquarian claim to fame.
But it's such a fun energy on the high vibe. Like it's you know, light body tech and understanding how to work with other people, other groups, other collectives, collective consciousnesses. Like the upside of it is so cool, right? The low
all the
side
things
of it,
that
not so cool.
All the things that are bad on the low side are awesome on the high side. Like the ability to understand marketing and what people love, and like the colors that will talk to them, and just all of that used like for the right purpose is amazing.
Yeah.
Such is the nature of tech. You know, again, it's like it in itself is a neutral thing, and it's the user that depends on whether it's what we would classify as good or bad.
Yeah.
Do we want to switch to the moon?
Let's do some moon stuff. Rhiannon in the chat says I was a Capricorn sun and Venus on the other timeline. In the tropical timeline.
Gotcha. So, I had Capricorn Venus on the tropical timeline too. Oh, let me tell you, I don't miss that placement.
I was gonna say, welcome to the party. It's probably so much more fun now.
Sag Venus is so much better. Oh, love as work and work as love is just
the place to be.
Oh, wrong one. Yeah, I do not miss that from tropical Cap Venus, I'll say. Not Capricorn Venus isn't always that way, but it is very important for them to love what they, you know, the work that they do. But
okay. So this is what the moon's doing this month. Oh, go ahead, Georgia. You want to?
Well, I was just saying that because if they don't love the work that they do, then they're going to start working on you. And that is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Capricorn things. So this is a quick view of what the moon is doing for the new and full moon. The new moon will be in that Capricorn Aquarius blended energy on February 9th. There are some really interesting things going on that day, one of the aspects from the new moon is going to the North Node in Chiron, which will be conjunct that day. Oof. So buckle up for this next lunar cycle, you guys. It is big girl panties on.
Mm-hmm.
Full blast into some stuff to bridge into your life path. It's a sextile though, so it's kind of like the door's open. And the best thing probably to do is be brave and walk on through that door. There is a square to Uranus in the Aries Cetus void at fixed star Barani, which anybody who does sidereal astrology knows that star from nakshatras. That's a tough star, a challenging star.
It is a tough place.
Yeah, so we're working on shifting some things there. Uranus is direct at this time, so we are moving forward with some of those things. And then there's a trine to the South Node. So obviously there is a triangular aspect between the moon, the North Node, and the South Node. It's one of those sextile trine kind of things. And the South Node is in Virgo, has moved off away from Arcturus. So it's kind of not aligned with any fixed star that I really look at. I'm sure it's aligned with something. It's just not anything that I have looked at or understand the significance of. So that's what's going on for the new moon. Do we want to look at the charts for this before we go to the full moon? That's probably good.
Yeah, you want to use your software, or you want me to pull up a page?
Let's do the software so they can see these aspects, I think.
All right. Go for it.
All right, give it a second. Let me know when you guys can see it.
I see it.
Okie dokie. So this is the new moon on February 9th. So here's the new moon aspect, and this is a true sidereal chart. I do have another chart that shows exactly where the fixed stars are. This is technically Capricorn Aquarius blended energy if you look at the fixed stars. So just bear with us on that. We'll eventually get some software coded that shows the true actual alignments of things. So here's the trine to the South Node. Here's the square to Uranus in the Cetus Aries void over here. And then there is a sextile. Let's see how zoomed in we can get. Here's the little sextile. So the nodes are always opposite. So that means there's always an opposition there. So here's the trine sextile opposition triangle with those three guys. So you can see where they're at. This is in Pisces. So these two guys are conjunct that day. I just think that's going to make for one heck of a lunar cycle. Like
for
both
sure.
the nodes, we're working on life path stuff, probably doing some karmic cleanup, bridging to new timelines, timeline jumps. I mean, it feels like calibrating onto your true life path is what it feels like. Maybe less of, I mean, that always involves a timeline jump in a way, but I feel like Uranus is really helping us make some shifts in that department too. Like, he's probably going to be bringing up some deep stuff if he's cruising through Cetus Aries.
And especially at Barani, and this is his third pass. So I always feel like third passes there's something so beautiful about it. Like we did the first work, we revisited it again, and now it's more, feels like collecting the gems of all the work that we did. So that's going to be a lot of third time's a charm. Exactly.
Third time's
the planets know it.
They do. Yeah, there might be some minor calibrate, like you might find echoes of when he retrograded over this.
Definitely.
You know, so if you go back through software or Sky app or whatever, and you look at when this happened before, when he aligned with this star before, you might notice some similarities, but it would be less intense. I feel like it would be like, oh, hey, that's like that thing that happened a few months ago. And you'd be like, oh, I caught the game, right? Like, I got you, Uranus. And you just reframe it. That's the beauty of Uranus. It's like you just try and see it from a different perspective, because he's really bringing up some stuff to help you be more of who you are, or to show you, you know, some of the depths of yourself. It's such an interesting place because technically he's getting really close to the back legs of Aries here. So the Cetus energy is much more intense in this area over here. So I think it's going to be some personal refining things for this, you know.
Though the North Node with Chiron gives some big collective healing vibes as well. On a really profound level, like how we connect with Source, our idea of who we are on a spiritual level. Some very big stuff going on with that. I think
transcendental,
like, and
stuff.
some people will start to experience more liberation from the harder things of Pisces, like dissociation and addiction and escapism. But for some people who haven't really been doing the work, it could be kind of crushing. It could really bring up all that stuff in this transit.
Yeah. And this is pulled for New York City. So like if you live on the East Coast, especially like around that area, it's going to be in the 8th house. So you will be doing some alchemy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know for me and Sachi, we live on that side of the country. So I guess we're getting the memo.
Yeah. Definitely have been feeling a lot of North Node activations lately. So it rings true.
Yeah.
Yes, that's going to be fascinating. Just remember the high octave of Chiron is a bridge, so you can make some major bridges to your life path here. Like creating those. Was it like to the Emerald City, the follow the yellow brick road? Like you're making your yellow brick road.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
But instead of the Emerald City, we're going for the Emerald Dragon.
Right. I feel like it's coming into
like
this
on Rainbow Road almost.
Some of the moons. Yeah. Yeah, it could be. It could be the Rainbow Road.
It's very Piscean.
It could be the pastel Rainbow Road. This is very Andromeda. We're starting to move into some Andromeda alignments through here for sure. So the pastel Rainbow Road. So that's okay. I'll stop the screen share on this and we can go back to the full moon, unless you guys want to add anything else for the new moon.
No.
I don't think so. So let me pull that back up.
Yeah, I would say if there's any past life stuff, it might be able to come up easier. There might be easy routes for it to come up because that's a trine from the new moon to the south node. So it does feel like there's going to be opportunities to process stuff so you can move forward on your life path. So if those things come into your awareness, go with it. Go for it. Go with it and go for it.
Nice.
All right. So the full moon is the full snow moon in February. It will be in Leo, which I find totally funny to be a full snow moon.
Yeah.
But there it is. February 24th, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I feel like this one's going to be kind of intense, you guys, because this is 2 degrees from an alignment with Thuban and Draco, which kind of has not the easiest reputation. There's a lot of, I call it the bad guy hangout. the low vibe dragon hangout.
This is the first full moon in the year of the dragon, in the lunar year of the water dragon.
That's very true.
So we're going to see some pretty intense stuff, especially considering, Leo as fixed fire with water dragon
speaking of the year of the dragon, I think that happens during this new moon. Like that begins the new yeah, the new moon is beginning the Chinese New Year of the dragon.
So people who, if when it comes to your Chinese zodiac, you want to double check, especially if you're born in January and February, that you don't just go by the year because the years are different on the calendar. Like I've had people who say like, oh, I was born in, 1980 and, in January and it says I'm a this, but it's like, no, technically the year 1980 starts in February for that system.
Yep.
So it's kind of like another timeline jump that I find that's pretty common with people is thinking that they're one Chinese zodiac when really they're another. But it's only people in January and February.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So enter the dragon and then
Mhm.
boom, it says, okay,
Then-
time to calibrate me.
Yep, and there's the
Exactly.
data.
Right off the bat, the first thing we're gonna do is some lunar recodes in like
Confirm.
the dragon bad guy hangout. I mean, how perfect is that?
Well, hashtag dragon bad guy hangout.
It just marvels me over and over, and I feel like I've said it on every episode. I'm just like, wow, like who wrote this? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
No,
this
it's
is
like a
it's just
script for sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
This is kind of incredible.
Yep. So we have some super spicy aspects over here. These three opposite. Did I put that? Oh, I think the top one is a typo that was supposed to come out because that's not the sun's in Aquarius at that point. I just forgot to delete that. So forget that
right
top
here.
line. Yeah, it's sun opposite Aquarius at Deneb. That's the first true aspect. Sorry, you guys. Opposite Mercury in Aquarius and opposite Saturn in Aquarius. So these three guys are, you can consider them in a conjunction. They're within 10 degrees of each other, and the moon will be opposite all three of those. Boom. So Saturn, Mercury, and Sun opposite the moon. Mercury's doing some interesting things with Pegasus. That feels like a recalibration. Oh, look at you. That's so handy.
There we go.
Yay.
Just in case.
This Cos Australis thing, that is not the thing. That's from, I think, December. So yeah, I think everybody gets it. The sun
so
is,
yeah,
that's, just ignore it. The sun is in Aquarius at Deneb. Again, time matrix guardian stuff and very close to Fomalhaut. It just had the alignment with Fomalhaut like a day or so before that. So this full moon is not messing around, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturn in Aquarius, we all know Saturn is in Aquarius is the weird, cool Saturn. So I feel like you probably can high vibe this. I feel like it's really going to help some folks attune like their Mercury archetype. You could really use it to that purpose, to calibrate sort of your upper clairs if you know how to do this galactic recoding stuff. And then there's a trine with Jupiter. So super handy. It's a nice trine. Jupiter's going to help you out there, probably diving into some aspects of yourself that you can go integrate. And then this is an asteroid, but it's square with asteroid Lilith. I just thought the placement was really interesting because she is going to be sitting basically right at Ophiuchus's right leg and close to Antares, which is another royal star. So there is some interesting things going on with this asteroid. And I think she makes, well, we'll look at the aspects. She's doing something interesting with, I think, Jupiter. I don't know. She's making another aspect to somebody in one of these aspects. So we'll go look at that.
You want to pull up the...
Yeah, you want me to flip over and you guys can discuss?
It's pretty cool, like we're doing this major kind of lunar dragon recode, and then it's opposite so much benevolence that's just holding so much. And then with the Saturn, Mercury, Sun situation, it feels like recoding some major structures. Mm-hmm. And it feels like templates dropping into our space, like manuals unfolding. So it feels like a lot of new information is going to come through, and it's going to shift a lot of the structure. I mean, we're going to see so much structure shift coming up in these next years. And so this is definitely one of the unlockings, one of the undos that we're going to be doing. So many undos to come.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that you can do that. So this is where the moon is and the fixed stars. This is Thuban right here. So you see how it's still approaching. So it's like we're riding in on the bow, like for that full moon. And after it peaks, after the full moon peaks, it will actually cross over through Bam. So I feel like it's a big old opportunity because it's literally just sailed across Regulus, which is opposite Fomalhaut, which is where, you know, the sun is kind of hanging out over by Fomalhaut. So I feel like it is it's potentially a very big recode.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
you will surf it in, like you will feel this one coming in.
The whole world is going to, especially because there's so much opposition of Aquarius. So if we think of the opposition of the needs of the self versus the needs of various class consciousnesses that equal collective consciousness, it's like, you know, it's like kind of like, what do you need as a human being, right? As the Leo, what do you need to sustain your vital force, your flame during your life versus, you know, how are you contributing to society, I guess is a good way to put Aquarius. So with this happening, we could see a lot of people who are standing up for their sovereignty, their own power, no longer accepting breadcrumbs. You know, if you listen to the Leo episode that we just did, it is all about, you know, there are no masters. You know, there's no one who can lord over you. There is no such thing as royalty that is above you. Everyone has their own royal DNA. And it's just a misconception that people actually have authority over you. You are in complete control of your soul at all times. And so there's going to be a lot of social structure, particularly again with the Aquarian theme of like, what's good for humanity, right? Or what's good for the economy versus like, what do people actually need to want to actually survive and live in this world? That's the energy that what that's giving me.
Yeah, and if you're on the East Coast, like again, these charts are pulled for New York City. This will be in the 11th house in Aquarius on the other side of the moon. So it's like all these things hanging out in the 11th house, like very collective vibes there with that opposition to integrate with the sun. So this is, let's see how close I can zoom in and show you guys. So you can see these three opposition lines right here. These are coming off the moon. The bigger dotted one is like the most exact, obviously most exact with the sun. Very opposite Mercury and strongly opposite Saturn. So there's strong aspects in there for sure. And then you can see how close these guys. So Mercury's closest, but honestly, Saturn's not that, you know, it's probably one more degree of an orb, but they're, I would say, within 10 degrees for sure.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty intense cluster of planets hanging out together for that. And then let's look at here's Lilith asteroid. She's hanging out up here close to Antares. So this is actually right where Ophiuchus's right leg is, where his asterism crosses the ecliptic. And the aspect I was thinking of is an inconjunct to Jupiter. I was like, oh snap, there it is. Those rascally inconjuncts. So expansion is available, but there's probably something to look at, like angry, repressed feminine energy that it's like you don't even know it's there, because those inconjuncts can be really sneaky and hidden. That is key to that expansion, like finding that pocket basically and addressing it appropriately. So if that's the thing that comes up around this full moon, like we were kind of laughing for this current full moon, how there was road rage incidents. If stuff like that surfaces, that's a great example to be like, if there's some angsty stuff that surfaces, that's your clue. I feel like that's your clue. Process it, take aligned action, and address that pain body. And that, especially in the door. Yeah.
Full moon in Leo.
Yeah.
The lower side of that is drama. So especially because we have so much in opposition to Aquarius, there could be a lot of societal, you know, for the good of humanity drama. And anyone who's done any sort of nervous calm system work knows that that's literally not how anchoring more peace or better things on the earth happen. You don't participate in that kind of thing. You say, what can I do with my energy right now to make the world a better place? And the higher side is living theatrically, enjoying things, experiencing life rather than, again, it's like the whole world is a stage and you're the director and main cast member and even all the supporting cast in a way, considering it's a holographic universe, but you really have, again, full control of your reality to an extent. And so how are you co-creating with that?
Mm.
Yeah, and she is sitting, asteroid Lilith is sitting in Scorpio in the true sky. This is actually very accurate. And look at the T square coming off of her. That was the other thing. I was like, oh snap. This is key. This is key. This is key. Alchemy right here. There's your magic.
Yeah.
Totally. And then some of the other, stuff that we're going to look at through a Leo Aquarius axis lunation is going to be kind of like God complex versus knowing yourself as a God being.
Yeah.
So there's going to be issues of like narcissism and self-esteem and codependency and all these other things that are going to come up that are issues always around those same things versus real self-understanding, real self-knowing, like really like being in your true light, which is not going to be a God complex. True light is not God complex. So these things are also going to be brought to our attention in this full moon.
Power differentials.
Yeah, authority issues.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And for people on the East Coast, that's going to be happening down here in the 5th house, house of the sun. That's a funny joke right there.
Yeah, and
sun energy and moon in the house of the sun.
So and these are like energies that are going to be through the whole lunar cycle, because that new moon in Cap Aquarius blend is that it is the area that dictates dictation, even hierarchies and like government structures and things like that, and any sort of sense of authority and how and what data is used and things like that. So there's definitely a new beginning with that new moon, and then the full moon in Leo is like releasing things that are not actual you stepping into your power, you collecting your own data of your own life.
Look at this interesting like triple triangle right here. Just nerding out over here. Don't
triple
mind me.
delta.
Delta, delta, delta.
Delta
that
Q.
might be a synchro for somebody. You never know. Look at the ascendant with a
triangles
to Black Man Lilith.
That's like it's a Trinity code.
Totally. Triple flame activation. Thank you, synchros. If you can navigate that, I mean, anything is a triple flame activation if you can navigate it appropriately. So, but this one, you get the memo.
If you're hot enough.
Yeah. On fire. Got that Leo fire. And the moon being in Leo all by itself is a potential for fire water alchemy. So I love this full moon. It feels like it might be a little spicy, but if you're good at alchemy and you've been doing it, like you have some major potentials with this for sure. Level up.
And of course, always check which houses this is happening in your own natal chart for clues on specifics on what is going to be coming up for you and how to navigate it.
Yeah, pull one of those double wheeled charts so you can see the overlay of where it'll be affecting your natal chart, because you will find the echoes, that's for sure. All right, we good on this chart?
I think so. Should I pull up the sky and just run through them real quick?
Yeah, so let us know how you like the new little system we're sort of testing out. If you find that easier to, maybe just having a visual aid makes it easier to sort of see what we're talking about.
And don't worry, we won't be seeing this app again, I don't think.
Yeah, I have a feeling like it's not
You know, I
making a
didn't play around with
reappearance.
it that much last night, but now that it's just playing around, like, okay.
Yeah, we'll
All
probably
right,
go
here
back
we
to the
go.
other one. I think we figured out how to make the ecliptic work on the other one. We'll just have to
Yeah, I have to
do the
upgrade.
upgrade. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. We'll just, it's a business expense. It'll be fine.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Tax codes.
That's right.
All right. So we have new moon here in this blended area that we talked about at the very beginning. Capricornus, Aquarius blend. And then on the 24th.
Man, it's like it brings up the asterism and then it fades away the longer you sit there.
I know.
I can't figure out
very
why it would do
I
that.
tried looking in the settings while you had your program up to see if I could change it, but I can't.
Weird. It's like you have to be right at the exact spot for it to stay
Uh-huh.
visible. Okay. There's the full moon.
Here we are. And
Yeah. So Draco's way above the ecliptic.
Yeah.
Above Leo.
it's gonna try
And
to
it's not, again, it's not an exact alignment, but the moon moves so fast, it'll be like a couple hours and it after the full moon and it will be aligned with that star. So it just feels like there's a window where you can jump through this recoding portal on the way as the moon passes by that alignment. So you'll have to let us know. Drop a comment in the comment box if how spicy you find this full moon when we get there, you guys. Okay.
All right.
Shall we move on to Mercury? All right, so we just tested out those two with the sun and the moon. If you guys like the graphic aids, let us know and we'll do more because it probably would be handy. Because Mercury is passing by a bunch of fixed stars and now I just have to rattle them all off. Okay, Mercury, February 1st, he is in Sagittarius. And on the 2nd, like directly on the 2nd, moves into the Sagittarius Capricornus void and is cruising through there till about the 7th, where he crosses into Capricorn energy. And then on the 12th of February, moves into that Capricorn Aquarius blended energy. He is just whizzing through this area. He is direct and he means business right now. And then, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying Pluto conjunctions.
Yeah, there's Pluto conjunction. That's earlier in the month. And then on the 19th, February 19th, Mercury moves into Aquarius and is there for the rest of February. So to back up a little bit, on the 5th, Mercury is conjunct Pluto. Pluto is getting pinged off. You guys ever used to have bicycles and put like playing cards in your spokes?
I didn't, but I saw people.
But you know what I'm talking about? That's what Pluto feels like this month. Like planets are just like ding, 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 like whizzing by them this month and pinging off some Pluto work with different planetary archetypes. So Mercury will be doing that on the 5th. So that might be kind of an intense day, especially for people who have Mercury as their chart ruler. So Gemini, Virgo, ascendant people. Might be an intense day. Or if you have planets
in this area, Pluto, for sure. That's going to be, if you have any planets in your chart around this area, this is a big time because the whole slew of them are coming through and Pluto's just chilling.
Yeah, so it would be a good month. It's like a good experiment to note where Pluto is in your natal chart. And if you feel pinged off in that overtone of energy as well, because I know that happens for me. Like it'll be like Mercury will ping off Pluto here, but I will also feel Virgo things. Like I will be doing Virgo type things because that's where my natal Pluto is. So that's always fun. Yeah, it's a fun experiment. And because we've got 3 planets doing that, you can really sort of make a cross-reference this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
So that's not going to be conjunct any fixed stars. It's really close to an Altair alignment. I mean, Pluto's kind of hovering, approaching Altair, so it's not exact, but there will be a flavor for sure. So probably some astral stuff, you know, like Mercury crossing that. You might calibrate some Pluto stuff and maybe have some lucid dreams, or remember doing some astral travels, or if you really want to turbocharge it, like sit down with the intention of meditating to astral travel. Like that would be a good day to do that.
Then on the other hand, it could be on the low vibe, it could be like a busy day at the psych ward.
Totally. That was total low vibe outcome. Little schizophrenia for you, little bipolar for you. Yeah. Not to make light of that stuff, y'all. I've been there, and my activation, that's what it was like, seriously. So I feel for people if they're going for that, but
yeah, when the veils
you can get through it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can think that you're crazy. Other people definitely will think you're going crazy.
The psych ward will definitely think you're crazy, and they will not understand. Sometimes it's Kundalini activations. They don't get that. So if that's your kind of day, like phone a friend. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because that can be intense and deep with Pluto for sure. It would be I feel like it might be a good day for protection too, like astral realm protection. Things might try and attach to you that day, not to freak anybody out, but like if it's a portal for us, it's a portal for other things too. So that's just a little.
So like we're not freaked out. We're like, thank you, because now we know how to navigate this in a way that serves us and not, have like a sneak attack.
Exactly. And it's just showing you where you still have pain bodies that need, addressing, parts that need to be integrated or cleared from your energy. So you'll know that you've got a leak somewhere, basically, energetically.
And especially in the mind, in the nervous calm system, and in the astral planes.
Yeah. And then towards the end of the month on the 28th, Mercury will be conjunct Sun and Saturn. Holy cow, you guys.
There that 28th is again.
Yeah, we talked about it with the Sun. Or what day is the
full moon on the 24th?
I was going to say the full moon's on the 24th.
On the 24th. Yeah, we talked about it with what was it?
With the sun?
Oh yeah, Mercury and Saturn conjunction. Yeah, with the sun. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
definitely a big day.
Yeah, definitely a big day. And perhaps something even more neat wants to be said.
Yeah, because it's similar energy for the full moon, like it's 4 days earlier, but the opposition of the moon is to the same 3 planets. So it's like then they come into synergy 4 days later, like a crescendo. So that there might be some interesting new moon calibrations that come after the actual new moon.
Especially because how we talked about the new moon is in that Capricornus Aquarius blend of energy, which we talked about is like very Saturn dominant because it shows the Saturn expression of both Aquarius and Capricornus. So this is like that Leo full moon, like solar energy just right on top of Saturn, really illuminating a lot. And with Mercury there, there's probably going to be a lot of information coming in, a lot of communication, a lot of global stuff would be my guess.
Yeah, I had an aha moment the other day. I was like, I think there's a Mercury moon matrix too. Because the distorted Mercury archetype, why most people's clairvoyance is turned off, is distorted. I feel like it's distorted Emerald Order stuff through like both Hermes archetypes. So I was like, oh my gosh, I
Can
think
be.
there's a Moon Mercury matrix thing too. So it feels like we might be calibrating through some of that, especially with Saturn sitting right there too. Like, you got karma. Sun will be bringing it to light.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. That makes sense with Mercury, because Mercury has, it doesn't have like the clearest history, and for sure it has. It can be used. Mercury is definitely can go both ways. So that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yes.
So wow, I'm just seeing all these bird, like so much. I just am like, wow, this is just Mercury cruising through the bird tribes, and it feels just so expansive and so soaring, and it just feels like we're collecting so many codes. So like we're gonna stop through this like Pluto place, and it's gonna be a big activation, but then we have so much to kind of
calibrations.
that. Yes.
Yeah. That explains a lot. I've been getting a lot of bird medicine downloads lately, so
Same.
I definitely know why.
It's been a lot of aquatic and also bird references. And it's just kind of all over. It's also wolf references for me. Those are the big three that I've been getting through dream work. But definitely avian stuff coming in.
And this is the wolf moon, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
And if you're doing any like South Node Scorpius stuff, that's an emanation of wolf spirit's very similar to kind of Leo when it comes to like who you want in your pack or your tribe sort of thing. Like who you want in your pride. Wolf spirit is like learning how to go from lone wolf to like who's going to be around you when you hunt and cuddle and play and things like that.
So I'll just run quickly through. Sorry, go ahead, Georgia.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm just gonna. Well, you finish your thought because I'm just gonna go down the list and.
I was just saying, wolves are so telepathic too. So that's some activation. Like whenever you read about like werewolves and stuff, it always talks about their telepathy and how they have wolf mind.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
group mind. Yeah, like pack mentality.
Some telepathy codes coming in through there too. So
February 1st, Mercury's aligned with Peacock and Pavo constellation. That's actually a fixed star. That's a really cool one in my opinion. February 6th, Mercury's aligned with Altair and Aquila. The 19th, Deneb Algeti in Capricorn. That's that Bahamian fixed star. February 20th, Sadir and Cygnus. February 24th, Enif in Pegasus. February 25th, Royal Star Fomalhaut in Pisces Austrinus. And the 26th, Deneb in Cygnus constellation. So lots of different variety of avian alignments.
Yeah.
For sure. Little Capricorn to keep us grounded. One major Capricorn alignment.
Thank you, Cap.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
Ready to move to Venus?
I think so. Venus. Okay. So February 1st, Venus is in Sagittarius. On the 12th, she goes into the Sagittarius Capricornus void. On the 19th, she goes into Capricorn, and on the 26th, she goes into the Capricorn Aquarius blend, and she is there for the rest of February. So she's a little bit of Sag Cap void, Capricorn, and then the Cap Aquarius blend. So she's trucking. She's trucking along. She has a significant conjunction on the 17th with Pluto. There's one of those Pluto pings.
And that's a big time for changes in personal relationships, especially because it's right after Valentine's Day.
And right before Venus's conjunction with Mars. So it's like, all right, before we have this major conjunction we've been waiting for since last June, one more little death, just one more little rebirth. one more
gotta-
clarification, a little
Gotta
more
purge some
refinement.
stuff. Yeah, it does feel like let's purge a little bit before you guys are actually united in the sky. To make sure you're as clear as you can be at this point in time. So on the 22nd, Venus is conjunct Mars. Power day.
Yes.
The 22 is master builder number. There is a day. Let me check I think I put it in the daily planner. There's a day where Venus and Mars are equidistant from Pluto. Like Pluto is acting as a quantum portal. And I'm wondering if I put it in the notes.
I think I remember reading that.
I think I do too. Yes, it's the 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. There is a window of time where Mars and Venus are equidistant, about 1.5 degrees on either side of Pluto. And the central point acts as a quantum portal of deep subconscious transformation before the upcoming conjunction of Venus and Mars on the 22nd.
Wow.
So that is going to be a calibration day for sure. There could be some shadow coming up before you move into till we move into the 22nd. You may be calibrating all the way up to the 22nd.
Yeah.
Just to get as clear as you can. So yeah, pay attention to it could come through relationships if you're in a relationship. So
definitely.
It's an interesting timing right around Valentine's Day. If there's any kerfuffles around Valentine's Day, just navigate it as gracefully as possible.
Because there will be.
Because I wasn't going to say it, but it's like
I know
there can be.
You pretty much bet on it.
And it's going to be at varying scales, and it could be easily resolved enough or not. There might be some breakups, but it will be for the better. It will be for the better.
And the high vibe of that could be navigating it together in in a relationship and coming to know each other at a deeper level. Like that could be the high vibe play out, but it could be some intense shadow work between the two. But you navigate it, right? And maybe it's like it could be like, oh, I have a really old soul contract with this person. Like maybe it's some of those kinds of realizations, because it does tends to be beyond the mundane type stuff. Like, you have a galactic incarnation with this person and you still need to cut a cord, right? Or is it
multiple
the soulmate that you're reunited with?
Yeah.
At some other dimensional level.
Exactly. And soulmate does not mean, ooh, we're meant to be together. No.
Right.
There's so many different types of soul contracts. I always say, like, there are so many suffering soulmates that you have, and you need to learn when they're a suffering soulmate and cut that itch off.
Yeah, sometimes it's learn
you don't
how
have to learn through suffering.
Yeah, sometimes it's to learn how to bow out benevolently. Like
exactly,
both of you guys do it amicably, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be a lot of that around Valentine's Day. Sorry,
for sure. It's a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah,
it took me well into my 20s to be able to have like a good breakup in general, or like have that be the norm.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, but it's gonna, like, whatever shakes out and however it shakes out, it's totally for the best interest, because I mean this February 22nd Mars Venus conjunction is huge. This is huge union codes, and this doesn't necessarily mean like between you and another person, but this is all about yourself. So this is super powerful. I mean, we've been waiting for this conjunction since June, like Venus so close, but not quite there, and their whole journey and coming together in this kind of old soul contracted area of Capricorn, but also in a place where it's grounded and able to build, feels really solid, really stable. And like whatever happens feels like there's longevity connected to it.
Oh, yes.
For sure.
Yes.
And it's also interesting because it's the 222 numeric portal that day as well.
Yep.
So there's timeline jumping available for people.
It's huge.
Yeah, it really is a big day. Definitely power day.
I'm looking forward to that one. I think it might be the power day, even with the moon doing a lot of stuff. The full moon feels pretty intense, but I do feel like that's the big opportunity this month. That or Sun, Mercury, Saturn. No, I feel like this is the big one. I do. I feel
It
like
is,
Mars
yeah.
Mars
It's
Venus
got- yeah.
conjunction is the big one.
It feels like
you're
the
right.
big
This is
one
the
because
climax.
yeah, because it's been like going
Mhm.
on for so long, this
Yeah.
story between them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
Let's see, where will they actually be conjunct at? Let me go back to the planner.
You want me to pull up the planner for the day?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, let's do it.
Seeing it.
This is the kind of amazing goodness that you
Oh, yeah.
get from the amazing planner.
Mars. Yeah, we can just reference under
Interesting.
the
It's not-
ephemeris, and they're both in Capricorn. So that conjunction will be happening in true sky Capricorn. Whew, that is oh yeah, we're really trying to land some stuff there, aren't we?
Mhm.
Yeah, right here.
There it is in all its glory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
So
moon-
if you this is the true sidereal wheel, but if you scroll down under it, we have listed meticulously by hand all the true sky actual placements. So these are true sky placements. And the ephemeris is, to get a grasp on where things are and to see the aspects, because the aspects are very helpful.
Yeah, it's easier, to just to see the pattern recognition.
Look at what the moon's doing that day.
I know, I was gonna
guys.
say, yeah, it's
Whoa.
opposing.
That's
a big
cruising
one.
past the Beehive Nebula.
Oh, wow. And that's where we're
Oh.
having the full moon today.
Yeah,
For
it's
this
really close
episode.
to the Beehive Nebula.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Moon moving into Leo. So it's cruising through Cancer. It will go through the Cancer Leo void and into Leo. I mean, I feel like that's very auspicious for the moon to be doing that while Mars and Venus are doing this.
I do too. Like, wow.
Definitely.
Wow. Guys.
We just amazed ourselves.
Yeah.
Again.
It's literally bridging everything from today's full moon to the next full moon. Like, it's just such an intense full moon to full moon.
Oh, and look at the transit note, a brief T-square with Jupiter at the apex and moon opposite Venus, Mars. Holy wow.
Yeah.
Like, we've
That's
done
a
so
big
much
deal with Jupiter
astrology.
there. Yeah.
I've kind of forgotten like
Yeah.
what exactly I wrote. So it's nice to have this as our own reference too. That feels like such a power day. I do think that's the power day this month.
I think so too. Yeah, this is definitely a big deal.
222. You heard it here. Okay. Noted. All right. So just to run quickly through, there's only a few fixed star alignments for Venus this month, significant fixed star alignments. On the 4th, Vega. I mean, that's huge. 4th in Lyra constellation. So probably about the day before that, she's cruising past the Alpheca Meridiana, the southern crown. So that's kind of like the royal Lyran window. So the 3rd, 4th of February, it's kind of like royal Lyran activations. And then she aligns with Vega exactly in Lyra constellation on the 4th, which there can be some calibrations at Vega. Vega there's some shenanigans with stargates at 11D levels. So there can be some calibrations, but surfing in on high vibe. February 11th, she crosses Peacock in Pavo constellation. I think that'll be fun. Go stretch your stuff that day. And February 18th, she'll cruise by Altair. So 2 avian alignments.
Yeah, more.
Altair's a big one too. That'll be interesting to experience how Venus transits or aligns with Altair, being she's so much more somatic and body oriented. So that'll be really interesting.
For the love of birds.
So I think Venus and Mars both are having a big month.
Yeah,
for sure. Mars is definitely making some moves too. Are we ready do you guys want to throw anything else in the hat for Venus, or do we want to go ahead and move on to Mars?
I feel good to go to Mars.
same.
Okay.
But not in real life. I redact that statement. I just saw like Elon Musk. I'm like, no, I'm not going to Mars.
Okay.
Not what I meant.
So Mars on February 1st is in Sag. February 6th moves into the Sag Capricorn void. On the 18th moves into Capricorn. On the 28th moves into the Capricorn Aquarius blend and is there for the rest of February. So he's doing similar moves as Venus as far as what constellations he's moving through.
Check out Valentine's Day.
Yeah. February 14th. Mars aligns with Pluto. Guys,
Y'all.
this one's for you. Be nice to your ladies.
Yeah. Definitely a very sexy time.
I was gonna say this could be like some powerful lovemaking as well.
Yeah, sex magic
That's
in a good way
true.
for sure.
This could have a huge, but as we know, it has a huge arc. Like it could be something very powerful on one side and something really not great on the other side. So keep your drink covered if you go to a bar, take care of yourself.
Deep patriarchal domination subconscious programs or the highest, most awesome tantra. You choose.
And everything in between.
Yeah. And it's like as we're in the integration station of the third dimension, it's like even when we're in like the higher octaves of things, we still are dealing with, as you call it, the echoes of those lower octaves. So just like, have fun with it. Play around. Be on the lookout. See what comes up. Because it's there for your healing.
Yes. So we all know on February 14th, Pluto on February 22nd, Mars conjuncts Venus. We know that. Significant fixed star alignments, very similar to Venus. He's already passed over Vega, did that in January, but he will be crossing over Peacock and Pavo and Altair and Aquila. So 2 avian activations for Mars as well this month. So they're really starting to, I feel like that might be some of the intuitive things we're having surf in with the avian stuff is like it's coming in this far ahead of the conjunction of Venus and Mars, honestly. So big integrations and upgrades there, like hierogamic union codes, that kind of stuff. Probably really important for avian, like galactic genetic folks who have those galactic templates.
For sure. Yeah, I have like something really crazy to share, but I'll have to do it during March transits.
Okay.
About this.
You're gonna make us wait till March. Oh my gosh.
I am. I'm gonna have to wait.
All right, make a note so you remember.
It's definitely, I'm just kind of like wowed out of my mind right now. Like, whoa.
Okay. All right. I'll wait. Fine.
Patience makes the heart grow fonder.
So again, with the infusion of Capricorn, like the avian alignments, but the Capricorn energy, I feel like it is probably helping us ground some of those things in, keeping our feet on the ground as, the Pluto energy is also coming through as well. Because that can be
awesome
very
too,
disorienting.
it's like functional, it's like we're having these soaring visions and these like various, like very high spiritual vibes coming into like the bird tribe vibe. But then it's also like very grounded and very functional and very practical and very much like about getting things done in kind of like a systematic way. So it's really cool because there's the ability to get a lot done in a way that doesn't feel really hard.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And you do have to ground that stuff in because it can be so lofty. You might not want to land. You might be like, I like it up here, but the purpose of being able to access it is to integrate it on the planet, to embody it, right? So in a
practical way.
Right. And so then Capricorn, and especially then like Capricorn Aquarius blend as we go along, is going to ground it in a practical way, and then ground it in a practical way that's also serving of humanity.
Yeah. As we merge into that Capricorn Aquarius blend, and eventually next month into Aquarius.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes,
I like it. All right. Feel good about Mars?
I think so.
Okay. Moving on to Jupiter. Our friend hanging out, one of our friends hanging out in the Aries Cetus void. The birth canal.
Mhm. Here we go. Woo!
Oh wow,
There
Cetus
he
shows
is.
up really good. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Look at that. Come back, Cetus. Okay. So Jupiter's in Aries, Cetus void all month. He's still trucking towards Taurus, getting close. Well, he's probably about halfway there. He's getting closer. He's picking up speed this month.
Yeah.
So he will be closer to Taurus, much closer by the end of the month. Let's see. No significant planetary conjunctions, but he does have a fixed star alignment on February 8th with Shadar and Cassiopeia. So Cassiopeia codes coming in. I feel like those were coming in for this full moon in January that we just had today. I was getting dream synchros that literally had Casio written on them. I'm like, okay,
wow.
I hear you.
Okay,
And
interesting.
it was
That's
a
awesome.
watch. Yeah, it was a watch. There was a whole lot wrapped up in that dream symbol, but I'm like, all right, there's definitely some Cassiopeia energy coming in.
Yeah, this is actually my natal Chiron position at Shadar, right at Shadar. So
Oh, that'll be
this will
fun
be
to,
Jupiter's third pass.
Wow.
yeah,
It'll
the
be interesting
delightful
to
pass. That'll be
see
nice.
how it
That'll probably
goes.
be fun and bubbly and queen codes.
Yeah, queen codes for sure.
Yes. So that's kind of all he's doing. The rest of these guys are pretty chill except for Saturn, but we'll go through them quickly just to show you in the sky where they are. So we'll probably just lump all this into one timestamp once we get past Saturn.
Yeah.
It's going to be that fast. You guys feel like adding anything else about Jupiter? I think we'll have more to say once he cruises into Taurus. I mean, I feel like he's still helping us excavate and expand into like the blend of understanding your galacticness and in your own personality lens that you are now, right? I am me, but I have also been other me's. I think that's kind of where he's helping us out right now.
Yeah.
Big changes in philosophies, ontologies, theologies, perceptions, belief systems of who am I or what am I? And because it's in that Aries Cetus void, it's still in that kind of death and rebirth, endings and beginnings, more focused on the new beginning. But since there's still Cetus influence, it's like, are you really ready to let go of that old baggage that doesn't even have the wheels on it? Like, are you going to bring that luggage with you and carry it or not?
That's a good word for it, luggage. Are you still lugging that around? Right.
Exactly.
Can we let that worldview go, or that view of yourself, or that negative self-talk? Can we let that go?
Yeah. Because Jupiter's so positive, so jolly, and just connecting with Jupiter, you have to have a good attitude and be really authentic about it, and be enjoying yourself. And that's part of it, is like, hey, if you're not enjoying this, then why are you carrying it? Like, why are you holding on to this if it's not bringing you joy or not making you, feel like you're more at home in the world and more explorative and doing the things that you want to do here on the planet.
Right.
So Jupiter also, with the new beginnings of Aries, especially as it moves towards into Taurus, which is technically the first sign of the zodiac, it's like this new beginning, whatever you think it is, it's going to be bigger. So it's like, it's important to just consistently hold extra space for beyond what you perceive your new beginning or the new energy or the new you to be.
Venus and Mars confirm that statement 1000%.
Yes. And I was going to mention that as well, like, as we're kind of, I feel like within a couple of degrees Cassiopeia, we kind of start to move into more of the Aries part of the void. So this is also like with Uncle Jolly Jupiter moving through, we're going to start feeling better about ourselves. on like a big collective level, it's going to be like, actually, I really like myself. I feel good about who I am. And that's really important.
Mm-hmm. And it can also highlight, if you like parts that you don't feel good about yourself, things that you're angry at yourself about can really be blown out of proportion. So, it's important to remember when anger and rage bubble up in Aries codes, it's usually anger is a mask of sadness. So to go deeper into what is really the underlying issue of disappointment, and whether that's with yourself or with others, and let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, that deep water.
Don't pass your rage.
Well, and
Yeah.
Jupiter, he expands everywhere he touches. So if there's still stuff that you're working on here, he's going to show it to you, but he's also going to give you the skill sets to work with it in a graceful way, because that's the nature of Jupiter.
Yeah. The higher learning. Yeah.
Mhm.
Higher learning of yourself and the deep aspects of yourself, for sure. So I feel like the mantra is, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Oh, Jupiter. Yeah, and if you don't, it's like you said, there's just some Cetus level water down there that you got to go swim around in and figure out where it's coming from, because it's ripe for transformation to come out of that born anew.
Exactly. It's like you're swimming out of those waters and you're like finally about to, hit to breach, so to speak. But it's like you have all these like rocks in your pockets. You're holding on to luggage that you got from the seafloor, and it's like you have to let it go if you're gonna breach and be birthed again. You gotta let it go.
Although there are some precious gems, and if we're rising from the bottom of the sea, we don't want to go too fast. So
They don't get the bends, but I feel like Jupiter's been moving slow enough that now that it's becoming more Aries into Taurus, it's like it's been slow enough that don't slow down now. It's kind of like,
oh yeah, we're not slowing down.
Yeah, you
No,
can't. They're gonna
continue
to get faster and faster.
It's a positive feedback loop at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's birthing time.
But
yeah, and I know I said before, it's like let things go, but it's really, there's no such thing as letting things go. There's moving beyond things, like recognizing the core wound, giving that part a hug, making friends with it, and then it's like it's no longer running you. It's not your enemy anymore. So it's not like you really are like, get out of here, I don't want to look at you anymore. It's
right.
Realizing you've
There's
got
a lot more to do with it. Although maybe you need to do that to someone in your life,
Yeah. But it's like realizing the rocks in your pocket are coal and they're actually can be made into diamonds, right? It's like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Because letting go really is, it's like, it doesn't erase, it's about acceptance, finding the key codes and moving on.
Yeah.
With what you've learned and with the gems that you've procured from that coal.
It's just about consciously realizing what the core thing was, the core wound, the core causation. And I feel like every time it happens for me, there's this compassion that comes in, like, oh, it was from a past life where this happened. Oh, I can completely understand why that was running a defense mechanism. And it just melts away, right? It's just like, oh, well, okay, I can work with that differently now. So you'll find those pockets of yourself in this area for sure. And I think Jupiter will help you expand into that compassionate awareness of those things.
Yeah,
for sure.
For me, it's unconditional love. That's how I melt everything.
Yeah.
It's just like return to the heart, feel unconditional love. Yeah. And it transmutes literally everything.
And that's part of the magic of the Beehive Nebula. That's the heart of Cancer. So that is
that's where
one
my
of the
moon
gifts.
Totally makes sense.
Yeehaw. Go Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupiter's awesome. We always talk about Jupiter.
I know.
Like, even if we're like, not much to say, but it's like, yeah, Jupiter, we just love talking about you.
Look at you. You big,
you're
beautiful
so big.
baby. Yeah. Okie dokie.
All right. Time to move on to Saturn, who is large and in
Saturn.
charge in a different way.
Yep, she's in Aquarius all month for quite a few months, but definitely for all of February. Again, the 28th, she is at Sun Mercury conjunction. There's no major fixed star alignments. So we've kind of talked about everything that's going on with her already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all that being in Aquarius, I feel like that totally is an activation station.
Mm-hmm.
If you can navigate whatever karma she's going to bring up for you.
Yep.
And oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then it looks like we have our Saturn moon day on the 10th, which is the day after the new moon.
The new moon. I know that new moon's popping.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn moon matrix day, February 10th in Aquarius. So that will be in Aquarius too. It feels like an opportunity to resolve some things for sure.
Yeah. And honestly, Saturn being a little quiet this month, or in February, it feels just fine to me.
I agree.
Totally. Yeah, I like Saturn in Aquarius. I actually think it's probably one of the more fun placements for Saturn to be, because she's at home there. It's like I get to be the weird, cool Saturn and do all my weird, freaky tiki stuff on the high vibe if people can get there with me, right?
Yeah. The Saturn is awesome in Aquarius. It's its most natural position. So it does go from kind of like a little crustier in Capricorn to more of its flamboyant, nutty professor side in Aquarius that we love.
Let your freak flag fly. The only place Saturn feels safe to let her freak flag fly. Aquarius. Totally.
Though Saturn is quite lovely in Libra as well, but not freaky. Lovely.
No, definitely not freaky in Libra.
Different Saturn. Yeah.
Yeah, different Saturn. She's the nerdy Akashic librarian.
Totally. She's a lady in the street.
The nerdy, yeah.
And Saturn
sexy
in Aquarius is the freak in the spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet.
God, there's a meme coming in. I feel it. That's a good one. Okay, Saturn. Thank you, you crazy lady. All right, we ready to move on to Chiron?
Which I don't think I can find, but it is somewhere around here.
Yeah, that app will not stick around if Chiron doesn't show up for sure. Okay, so Alma, Chiron is in Pisces. Does it show the North Node? It probably doesn't, does it?
Let me see. Mercury's orbits, no.
We could look at it on the software if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
For Chiron and the nodes, for sure.
Okay. Might have to close a couple charts here. Transits. How am I gonna get this thing to move with my? This always happens, like the toolbar for the stuff is right where my toggle buttons are. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, transits. We're looking at Chiron. It's about as easy as navigating that Sky app, Sachi. Uh-oh, I just X'd out of it on accident. Sorry, everybody.
That's okay. We can just talk about Chiron and Pisces a little bit, which we've talked about, I think, since episode 2. But deep healing for the collective, especially in terms of all things Piscean, collective consciousness, spiritual alignment, substance use, substance abuse, altered states of consciousness, utilization of mind-altering substances, the whole, whatever you use to escape, whether you're dissociating or playing a video game or escaping through other people or whatever it may be.
Okay, so Chiron and the North Node hanging out really close to each other, and they do conjunct this month on the night.
Yeah, big soul mission activations. Absolutely. It's like if you've done your healing, boom, so easy to be on that timeline.
I'm confused why this is being weird. This software does this sometimes. It's completely, it baffles me. I don't know if the North Node calculations are correct.
Is it true north?
Let me change the hours, because it seems certain hours, I think, are miscoded somehow. I don't know if that makes sense.
It could be.
I think that's why we were coming up with some discrepancies with some other things.
Yeah, with the retrogrades.
Yeah.
Which don't worry, everyone. We double, triple checked everything.
Yeah,
so don't worry about it.
had
Our
to,
data
because
is
I
on
know
point.
this software, and it's
We use the software,
issues
we
sometimes.
use Sky Apps, and took multiple data points and came to our conclusion.
Okay, let me go to the first. We'll watch him cruise through here. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Okay, here we are. Okay, see, now look at how close they are over here on the first. Isn't that not weird? So weird. Glitch in the matrix. Well, it's not in the matrix, it's just in the software. I've caught it doing this more than once.
Glitch in Capricornus. Prometheus.
So there we go. There it is on the night, conjunct Chiron in the North Node. I'm like, is it 2024? Yes, it's 2024. It's the right year. It's the right month. So the North Node is always retrograding, so it's moving this way. Chiron's going that way. They cross paths. And I mean, that's the big to do with Chiron this month. He just keeps on cruising. He's getting closer. No, that's not Chiron. That's the North Node. The North Node is cruising towards Alpheratz in the Great Square of Pegasus. That'll be fun, but that's in March. So this guy's Chiron's cruising towards Andromeda alignments, but doesn't make any alignments this month. So that's his big thing. So and again, it's for the new moon. So I feel like it's fairly significant. I feel like some life paths are getting ready to get rattled.
For sure.
But it'll be a whole echo of energy that travels with us for that whole lunar cycle. So you'll have a month to alchemize through the things. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. Anything else y'all want to add? Chiron? All right. I'll stop screen sharing. Or
well, do you just want to go through maybe the nodes real quick and then go back to you? No?
I kind of don't want to get them out of order.
Okay, that's
let's
fine.
go ahead and do the outer planets.
Okay.
And we'll come back to the nodes.
Okay. Sorry, I accidentally closed my app, so
that's okay. We can talk about
Uranus.
He's the other friend in Aries, Cetus Void. He'll be there all month. And he is hanging out very much under the back feet of Aries. He's getting really close to cruising into Taurus again. But no major conjunctions, no significant fixed star alignments. I think next month he conjuncts with Jupiter. it's not. I think it's in April. I think he conjuncts Jupiter.
All right.
So we've got that to look forward to. Probably like turbo boosting the solar eclipse. Juju. April.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's go to February. And I guess first 26 doesn't really matter. Anytime in February, it's pretty much
he's pretty much
all
not
the same
moving a whole lot.
place. Okay, and there we are with Uranus.
Carla,
okay.
hi Carla in the chats. F that. I'm not sure what we were talking about at that point in time, but something.
But we probably agree.
Yeah, we probably agree.
And To refine takes time. I love that. That's definitely a Saturn energy. All right. So we have Uranus here. Even.
Right. Yep, there he is,
Yeah.
hanging out
Getting
under those back
Taurus-y.
legs. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
starting to feel that Taurus pull. So
Yeah,
that's
we have
really
lots
all
of
he's
info
doing.
on that, I
Mhm.
think, in episode 2.
Yep, just reference
Mhm.
that episode
Yep.
where we talked probably more at length about it because it was the first time we talked about it, but he really
It's still the
he's
same.
still kind of hanging out in that vibe. So, shall we move on to Neptune?
I think so. Let's
Okay.
see.
Neptune hanging out in Pisces all month. Neptune will be in Pisces for a long, long time.
Yes.
Contrary to anything tropical astrology probably says,
Mhm.
Pisces recently just entered, or Neptune just recently entered Pisces.
Mhm.
So he's got a long span of trucking across the ecliptic to do. Many,
Oh,
many
yeah.
years.
I think
Yeah.
it's like to 2060 something.
Yeah. Long time.
I wrote an article about it, but it's a long, long time.
Yeah.
It's a really long time.
So no significant conjunctions this month or major fixed star alignments. I think March Neptune will see some action. But this month he's just kind of chilling,
Mm-hmm. Engine.
which is okay with me. Just calibrating.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pluto's hanging out and still in
my
the Capricorn
favorite.
Sagittarius void. He will be there
Mhm.
all month.
Yes. So
He's-
everyone who's seeing all that Pluto and
Mhm.
Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius, no,
Nope.
Not even
Nope.
close.
not
Hasn't
even
even
close.
aligned with that first fixed star in Capricorn yet.
Yeah. We're gonna have to wait till like 2040 until Pluto actually enters Aquarius.
Yeah. Oh, somebody asked that in our DMs and I didn't know the
Mhm.
answer. So there you go. If
Yeah.
you're listening,
It's 2040.
2040, Pluto in Aquarius.
Yep.
So there's no super significant fixed star alignments, although Pluto's getting just inching ever closer to
Mhm.
Altair. Like that's gonna be a potent alignment, Pluto with
Mhm.
Altair. And we're probably gonna have to set a date for a US Pluto return chat.
It is, yeah, definitely because it is December 27th of this year.
Yeah, I
That
want
is
to
when
look
Pluto returns like to this, it's closest to the exact star of America's founding.
and is that
It'd be a big
Altair?
deal.
Because
It might be. I didn't look at
gonna
alignments
have
when
to
I
go
did
look at when
that. So yeah, we're gonna have to check it
I'm
out.
gonna look at when that
Well, I guess we
Altair
could.
alignment is, because if it's in December, be like, holy shit, that's crazy. I
Yeah,
think
you'll
we
have to
talked
look
a
it up
little
on
bit
your
about that,
software.
yeah, in the last
Uh-huh.
transit episode, but I'm gonna make a note to do that tonight because I want to know now. So he does. This is the fellow that's having the most planetary conjunctions, like
Mhm.
the playing cards in the spokes of your bicycle. Mercury, Mars, and Venus will be aligning
Mhm.
with Pluto or conjuncting Pluto this month. On the 5th, Mercury, on the 14th, Mars, and on the 17th, Venus. So all within the first, pretty much the first couple weeks of the month. And that's enough. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Pluto's bringing that change. Tons of change.
Big time.
Mm-hmm. So if you're listening to the outer planets section and you haven't listened to us talk about Pluto, Mercury, Pluto, Mars, Pluto, Venus in those segments and the timestamps, feel free to go click on one of those because we did talk about that at length.
Mhm.
Those vibes be vibey.
Yes, they do.
Super.
I know, right?
Mhm.
Like you can tell I'm getting tired. Those vibes be vibey. Go see the other part. Thank you.
And we're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring up
Pluto.
your
Oh yeah, let's
thing
do
for
the
the nodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Pluto, man. Conjunct Pluto energy was insane. If you're in the True Sky Crew group chat, then you know all about it. But wow, did it shed light on some deep shadows.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was whew.
I've been housebound for like a week, just like chilling. Like, all right, cool. I'm here. I'm doing my soul mission stuff, and the outside world can be as weird as it wants
That's right.
without me.
Okay, okay, I'm at February. We're looking at the nodes. What do you want to start with? North node? Oh man, this thing.
Makes sense.
Okay, North node. Well, we kind of already talked about North node. Heading towards Alpharats. Let me switch to the fixed star since we really haven't shown that with a node. Oh, I just clicked the Bing. No, that's the one I want. Oh, I know why I did that. Sorry. Because you have to do this. Oh my gosh, my page is so crowded. Okay, star wheel, check. I hope these go away. I'm sure that show. Usually I just click on the screen and they go away. Maybe I had to actually click on the screen. Nope, that wasn't the thing. All right, we're just gonna work around it because it's being crazy. Okay, ta-da! Fixed stars. So you can see the south node's trucking this way. This is Alpharats, and technically Alpharats is an Andromeda constellation, but I feel like this is a star where it's shared with both Pegasus and Andromeda. It's like a bridge from that really high vibey Andromeda energy, and then the Pegasus energy knows how to transduce that into genetic templates at a galactic level. So it's a fascinating fixed star. It's kind of it's the only one that kind of works this way that I have found. And the node is creeping towards that. It will not conjunct it or align with it this month. It'll be next month, but it's cruising. It's heading that way. Let's see how close it gets by the end of the month. That's real close. We're gonna be feeling it by the end of the month. You're gonna feel that cruising in. So there's probably gonna be a push. I feel like that's kind of what the lunar cycles are doing this month. The new and full moons are sort of helping people move on to those higher genetic template soul missions, or soul aligned things, especially as this is just bringing all that energy through with the north node. It might feel uncomfortable, right? It's north node. It might feel out of your wheelhouse. Just try it out, right? Maybe you don't believe in past life regression. Just give it a whirl. That kind of stuff. Because this is coming through Pisces energy. So that's what the North Node's doing. Obviously, February 9th is a hot day. And that's conjunct, but not conjunct any or aligned with any fixed stars in specific on the 9th, but definitely working with a new moon. It's going to be cruising with us all month. So South Node's over here in Virgo. It has moved off from the alignment. It was holding steady here for a good solid 2 months around Arcturus, but it has definitely moved well off by the end of February. So we'll just backtrack here so y'all can see it. So that's February 1st. Let's see, and moving towards Corvus alignments, Draco alignments. So the first fixed star I kind of look at that it will cross is Eta Draco, which I think is in Sky Apps called Aldebaran. I think that's and I don't like that name, so I just call it Eta Draco. Like, no dragon should be the bane of your existence.
Hopefully.
So cruising towards that, we'll probably align with that in March. Maybe, it depends. The nodes tend to wobble. They'll kind of hold stationary for a little while. It depends on, because the orbit of the moon is actually an ellipse. So sometimes it slows down. Sometimes it wobbles backwards, or I should say forwards a little bit, and sometimes it just cruises in retrograde. So just kind of hanging out in Virgo, like what kind of stuff maybe needs to come up? Sometimes South Node stuff can be like past life stuff. It can be past life skill sets. I feel like in Virgo it might be taking a hard look at some perfectionist tendencies,
For
that kind
sure.
of thing. But the high vibe is like you've got angelic templates, or you've got some kind of interesting parts of your soul blueprint that you can integrate with this South Node placement, and it'll be here for quite a while. So take the opportunity while it's cruising through here, because it takes the nodes 18 and a half years to go make a full circle. So once it moves out of Virgo, eventually, like, you gotta wait probably 18 more years before you get back around to it.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of organizational, daily routine, attention to detail stuff coming through with that, whether you're on the one end of just being a complete slop or on the other end of, having OCD tendencies and control issues in that way. South Node stuff can really, really be polaristic in that way. So you got to find that balance.
So this
And
is the true
sometimes these
sidereal chart.
tendencies aren't all bad. I always say South Node is karmic gifts and gunk. So it's not all gunk.
You can shine some of that stuff up real good.
Yeah, like it's kind of like in Virgo, clean your room to clean your soul.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I cleaned out my closet and I completely underwent a huge transformation. Like, yep, South Node in Virgo.
Yeah, and you can
Cleanliness is
see,
next to godliness, and what's still dirty in your life, says the South Node.
says the South Node. That's right.
What's stopping you from accessing those utopian timelines?
What's
That heavenly
causing you to
angelic
have,
stuff.
habits, patterns, and routines that are less than that?
Exactly.
Right? And take a hard look at those things, because there's some nuggets of gold in there. There's some high vibey stuff in there too. And you can see this is the true sidereal chart. You can see we're about midway through that transit, South Node cruising through Virgo. So we got a ways to go. Like, this will, take us through a good section of this year to get around through here. So
I'm actually in my reverse nodal return. So my South Node is Pisces and my North Node is Virgo. And I love this placement. Like what's going on right now feels so natural to me. And so for me, I feel like this is a cruisy time personally because of my nodal. So far, so good. I should say that. So far, so good.
Yeah, that's an interesting nodal return, because it does feel like it's a process of balancing out both of them. Whereas, like, if it's a North Node conjunct North Node, South Node you're pushing hard into like soul mission things, right? Like, this feels like, okay, let's take stock, let's balance some stuff here.
And somehow the collective is working on things that I've done already, so it kind of feels cruisy to me. The things I'm working on, the North Node stuff I'm working on, it's kind of taking the back seat in the South Node right now. So that actually is a little relief.
Yeah, spiritual alignment over doing the dishes, sort of thing.
But then those dishes stack. Oh,
that's true. Again, that's why you have to have the balance. Because, like, for the collective right now, it's like, hey, you have these all these daily routines with South Node and Virgo of the way that you're living your life day to day, but how's your soul feel? With North Node and Pisces, it's like, yeah, how's your soul feel?
Yeah.
You good? And it's interesting because for you, it would be opposite in balancing it with that energy. That's really interesting, having a nodal opposition like that.
Yeah. I'm not upset about it. And so for me also, when the South Node hits the North Node, and then of course vice versa, it feels like a dragon activation. So I'm excited. I'm like, oh, I'm having my dragon activation in the year of the dragon. Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Carla in the chat says, ooh, bridge that paradox. Totally.
Totally.
For sure. Awesome. All right. So I think we've said about what we need to say about the nodes. You guys want to throw anything else in on that?
Nope.
Feel like the power day is solidly February 22nd.
100%.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And we
There-
already showed that on the planner. So
Yeah.
I don't think we need to pull it up again. But yeah, that's the day. Or should I pull it up again?
You can if you want to.
I guess here's our
Go for it.
Yep. This is the day.
Our very awesome daily planner has
Mhm.
all this and more, you guys.
Yeah. It's Thursday. It's Jupiter's day. You know, we love Jupiter,
Mhm.
which is a great day for it to be February 22nd. The vibe of the day, the sun in fixed air, moon, cardinal water, moving to cardinal water, fixed fire, blend to fixed fire. Oh, I'm not sure why it's like highlighted in purple like that. I guess I have the whole, okay, there we go. Although I don't mind, it's
Violet
Violet
flame
flame
activation day.
activations. For
We'll
sure.
take it. We'll take
Woo!
it.
Then we
You heard it
have,
here, people.
and yeah, I mean, we already went through all the other stuff that's happening on this day with that T square with Jupiter, again, highlighting the fact that it is Jupiter's day, Thor's day. So beautiful power day.
Yes, it's a hearty welcome to the year of the dragon for
Yes,
sure.
it
Like
is.
overall for the month, it feels like a big old dragon activation.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Good times.
All right.
So I think we have one more announcement that we would like to share.
All right, y'all. I do have an announcement. With a lot of, feeling in my heart, I will no longer be a part of the True Sky crew as I have been. My son has special needs and it's very full on. And I'm currently needing to shift my attention as he's moving through developmental windows, more on him. And it doesn't quite equate to being able to hold the space in the way that I would like to. So I'm just letting everyone know that I won't be around in the same way, but I will be completing the journey through the signs and hope to continue connecting when the times are right.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Gonna have some special guest appearances for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
And
we're
it's so
gonna be
beautiful.
hitting you up on those big energy days.
Yeah. And it's
I'll
so
love it.
beautiful that this is happening on the Cancer full moon. I mean, one, because obviously prioritizing children is such a Cancerian thing to do and so important, such important work to just anchor in for the collective. But also the
Mhm.
fact that, recoding what Cancer is as a zodiac sign is what brought us together. And with the Cancer full moon, it's just such a,
Very poignant.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's very auspicious.
Serendipitous in its way.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So thank you both. It's been amazing how much I've learned in this journey. So I'm so very grateful.
Yeah, and thank you so much for being a mother here too, helping us birth something so amazing. And,
Yeah.
we're going to take it all the way.
Mhm. And I
Yes.
completely am in support of that.
Thank you.
Yes,
Mhm.
you are so appreciated for all that you've shared and what you bring to the table. And I personally am very grateful that you're going to come on for, doing the rest of the zodiac
Me
signs,
too.
because your point of view on a lot of that is just so, it brings in a lens that is so helpful.
Mhm.
I don't know how to describe. You bring like this big feminine energy and this insight in a way where, I'm so nerdy and airy and technical. It's like, oh yeah,
Me too. Yeah.
I consider things in ways that I had never considered before. So that aspect of the dynamic, I'm going to really miss that. So
Yeah,
I'm going to
me
look
too.
forward to the rest of those chats. And when you come on for guest appearances, I think it'll be fun.
I
Mhm.
will certainly do that and it will be so much fun. And thank you so much. I really appreciate that very, very much.
And just let everybody know where they can find you. Like, are you still going to be posting on Star Nectar? Like, that kind of
Yeah, I
stuff
still
so
will
people
be.
can
It's
find
just
you.
I will, I just I'll be, not as available as I've been. I'm not posting stories every day and I'm not going to be posting as many posts, but I'll still be around because it's a creative outlet that in the little moments I can take to do it. I always want to.
Yeah.
It's such a pleasure for me. It's like a treat to get to work. So I will whenever I can, as I do.
Yeah. Are
Awesome.
your books still closed? Just so people kind of know where you stand, or
My books are still closed, but I feel that in spring I will open them a crack. So it will be just, like a reading a week kind of thing.
that's a good
Because
pace.
that's about what I can do right now.
I mean, I'm with you. I feel that too with the galactic lineage stuff. I'm just like, I don't think I can do more than one a week. They take so much energy. So
It takes
I feel ya.
hours and it's a lot of work and it's a lot to open that whole portal with people. So,
Yeah.
I think keeping a slow but steady rhythm is the way to go.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I like that one reading a week
Yeah.
policy.
So yeah.
Yeah, like,
I think that's something I'll have to implement myself
Yeah.
as well, because I've been feeling the call to open my books. But when I just think about doing beyond what I'm doing one-on-one, it's just like, oh, do I really have the energy and
Yeah.
time? But I think being able to do one a week, that sounds very doable.
It's
I
almost
was
like,
feeling
oh, sorry.
sorry.
It's like the depth of the readings that we do. It's almost like you need to set up a whole client counseling set of
Yeah.
a series of sessions. So it's not like
Mhm.
you dump a bunch of info on people and then they're just gone. It's like
Mhm.
you really need a few weeks to integrate this stuff and somebody to convert. I've been seriously sitting down and I think I'm rehashing how I will offer readings. It might be more included with like a somatic package, like not a mentorship, but just like you want to know your galactic self, there's a 6-week program and we'll go through it. And I'll only take 1 or 2 clients at a time because it's just so intensive.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
feel you
thinking
on
in
metering it
similar
out for sure.
ways, Janine, like it's so much and it's so much to walk people through. I'm wanting to go into deeper layers, not just talk about the information, but now what are we going to do with it? So this is also why I do want to continue with the readings. And also because there's a need for true sky astrologers to do people's charts so that people have the opportunity to learn about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, like I said, one a week starting in spring sounds about right.
That's awesome. So if you guys are interested in readings with Georgia, definitely keep up with her Instagram channel because she will probably be posting updates there when she opens her books.
Thank you.
Good deal.
All right. Yeah. And thank you to everyone who joined us live and everyone who is watching the replay. We appreciate all of you. We see all of you. And thank you for everyone who was commenting in the live chat. We are the one and only The True Sky Crew, and we can be found here on YouTube at The True Sky Crew and on Instagram and X, which is formerly Twitter, at The True Sky Crew. And I am Sachi. So you can find me at Sachi the Seer on Instagram, YouTube, X, and yeah, I think those are them. And yes, obviously, books closed currently.
Yeah, I'm Janine. You can find me at Inner Sky Alchemy on Insta. And yeah, my books are closed too because we're getting ready to pick back the gauntlet up. That wasn't proper English. Pick the gauntlet back up and start on the other 9 months of the daily planner. So books are still closed.
Yep.
I'm still available for dream alchemy and biofield tuning stuff through the week, but astrology is out for a little bit. So if you're interested in the astrology, there's definitely free places to pull true sidereal charts in the meantime. And you can also purchase our handy dandy True Sky calendars and daily planner.
Awesome. And I'm Georgia, and you can find me at Star Nectar Astrology on Instagram.
And our next episode will be on True Sky Zodiac Virgo, which will be happening in 2 weeks on February 8th. So until that time, until the next episode, keep your feet on the ground and your eyes to the sky because the true sky don't lie.
Woohoo!